folks, everyone is buying games for their Nintendo Switch 2, but today I give you my top 5. Welcome to the Mario Matter, your favorite Nintendo podcast, episode 152. I am your host, Nintendo Switch 2 YouTuber EmSwizzle. It's a good day, it's Saturday, we post every Saturday, but let's give you a quick rundown of what is on today's episode. First things first. We have Nintendo news headlines. We go over Nintendo news from the past 7 days, and believe me, we have quite a good amount of it. Some weird topics, some juicy topics, all of the above. After that, I go over my top 5 Nintendo Switch 2 games so far. It is only early August 2025, but I have my list made. After that, I answer your questions you asked me in the Q&A segment. Let's not waste your time, though. If you want to skip anywhere in this podcast for any certain segment, there are timestamps down below. Otherwise, let's get freaking to Nintendo news.
Welcome to the Mario Matter, the #1 Nintendo podcast.
Alrighty guys, we have some pretty interesting Nintendo news to dive into. You are now listening to the Nintendo news headline segment of the Mario Matter podcast. And I, as usual guys, go online, find some news to discuss on this podcast. The biggest news. It's Friday at 5 p.m., so just hours before we post. So I have all of our news collected, and I've kind of ordered them in, coolest news, weirdest news to still cool news, but not the weirdest news of all time. So let's begin with some news that, honestly, some of you listening may not even know about. Usually our first topic is one that, has made headlines all week and is a big deal. This one, a big deal, sure, but I feel like it's kind of flying under the radar. So our first piece of news is Nintendo has announced a mobile Mario app for kids. Okay, somebody back up. When anybody was predicting Nintendo's next mobile app, did anybody think it would be a Mario game for kids? Because honestly, I would say no. My bet would have been like, Nintendogs Mobile, Kirby Mobile, one of the sorts, right? Nope, we have a children's Mario game. Now, let's kind of run through all the details here, and we have some extra details also to go over about this whole Mario for kids push Nintendo is now doing. It's weird. Let's dive into things. So, the app is called My Mario, which is that's a kids app sort of name, so I don't mind it. And it releases August 26th, 2025. Only in Japan to start, I'll get to that, on the iOS Store, Android, and the Nintendo Switch. Now, I stress, the August 26th release date is only for Japan. If you're in the US, like I am, if you're in the UK, anywhere else, you get this app sometime in 2026. We do not know when yet. I imagine it'll be pretty early in 2026, because August to next year is 4 whole months. They have 4 months to port it over. They should have enough time. So, come January or February of next year, we should have this app. I say we, like we're actually going to use it. It's a Mario Kids app. Adults won't get enjoyment. So that's happening. I mean, if you want the app on your Switch, I guess you can change your region to Japan, download it, and then go back. But yeah. My Mario, it's coming out, right? And so what is the app? I'm sure is the question if you have not heard this news. Basically, it is a kids app. Now, when I say kids app, I mean 2 to 5-year-olds. This is not for 8-year-olds. It can be, I guess. It can be, but in all of the promo material, it's 4-year-olds. So that's what I mean by toddler app, we should call it, okay? And it's an app where kids can do various activities. They can watch Mario animations. They can play with Mario's face, kind of like in Mario 64, where you can stretch Mario's face. They can do all that sort of stuff. It's a Mario app full of little kids activities. I'm not saying it's for kids as in like 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds. It's like toddlers, okay? So this is all happening. Free app, of course. I think it's free. Actually, I have not confirmed that. I believe it is free. It should be free. If it's not, that's kind of weird. But also, in addition to this app, Nintendo is releasing a bunch of Mario Kids toys and kids products. What do I mean? Well, they're releasing picture books. They're releasing backpacks, plushies, all of this stuff for kids. I mean, clothes. Did I say books? My gosh, dude. Now, whole lot of Mario Kids toys, okay? Let's talk about this. Nintendo's also releasing a playset, okay? This is a playset that comes with like a little stage, and it has a bunch of like question blocks and shells and Mario characters. There's a Mario character, a Luigi. Guys, this would be so much better. If you guys are watching the video version of this podcast, you can see like what I mean. There's a Mario figure, a Luigi figure, a Peach, and a Yoshi figure in this playset. You can, kids can play around with it like Barbies back in the day. It's great. All those 4 characters are amiibos. Like, those are functioning amiibo. So then when these kids grow up and, they're 3 years old playing with Mario figures, when they're 7 and they have their Switch 3, excuse me, they can use those as amiibo. Assuming amiibo is not dead on the Switch 3. Anyways, that sounds cool. Let me cough one more time. Something in my throat. Sorry, guys. Okay. So that's all fun and well. Now, even though a lot of that is for kids, I think some of it can be enjoyed by adults, contradicting what I said earlier. I think the app can be like used once by an adult and like, oh, this is kind of fun. And then the play set can also be used by adults for the amiibo collector purposes. Now, I will warn you, that play set, converting the Japanese price to American price, it could be even more expensive in America. I don't know yet. That play set I just talked about is going to be $135. That is nothing short of ridiculous. Guys, $135. I guarantee you, there is no parent in the world who is going to take their kids to Target on their day off and to get a new toy. I'm sorry, no one's buying a playset as lame as this. It's not lame at all, but like, it's not $135. No one's buying a $135 playset if it's only this. Like, this is not cool enough to be $135. Because next to this Mario playset is going to be the Batman playset for $60, and it's just as cool. Has Nintendo lost their minds? Have they lost their freaking minds? Now, I read that price off of IGN.com. By the off chance they happen to be wrong, you didn't hear that from me. But that's what I've read. That's a weird decision, Nintendo. But hey, that probably won't affect us because we're not playing with kids' toys. Unless there is like a 3-year-old listening to me. That could be happening. Could be somebody out there. This fly needs to go away. Okay, anyways, guys, let's move on to our next topic. That is Nintendo's new My Mario Kids toy line. Weird. I think it's weird. Not weird for like the consumers, I guess, like the 3-year-olds, but just weird as in like not what I expected to wake up to this morning. Because it came out Thursday night. I didn't think I'd wake up to that Friday morning. But anyways, let's move on, guys. Did you even know Nintendo hosted an Indie World presentation this week? So, if Nintendo's not doing a Nintendo Direct, a main Direct, if they're not doing a mini Nintendo Direct, and if they're not doing a partner showcase Nintendo Direct, they are doing an Indie World showcase. Now, an Indie World showcase is a showcase that Nintendo does where they let these small teams making games show all their games. They hosted one of those presentations this week. I heard it was pretty good. I didn't watch it or live stream it. At this point in time, I have become not at all excited in any capacity for any Indie World showcases. I know a lot of my cozy gamer YouTubers were reacting to it, so props to you. But like for me, someone who only cares about Nintendo and major third-party games, so that would be, I mean, terrible example, but like a freaking SpongeBob game, a sports games, Lego games, like big, decently big third-party makers. I don't really care for Indie Worlds. If there's a good game that comes out of an Indie World showcase, I will buy it. I'll look into it, then maybe buy it. But I'm not. It's 15 minutes long. I'm not doing a live stream, reacting to that. So I skipped the Indie World, watching it and streaming it. But I did hear that it was pretty good. I saw a couple games in there that I think are worth mentioning briefly. That game called Go-Go Town that's coming to Switch 2 next year, or just Switch, I don't know. That game is pretty legit. I played that on Steam Deck. That game is legit. And then honestly, that might have been it actually. I think that was it. Yeah. Go-Go Town is legit. I played that game on Steam. That's legit right there. But apart from that, I didn't watch the Indie World. Now, I will say, I mean, where is the... Can I say this? Where is the general Nintendo Direct? Where is that at? Nintendo, we are going into September in less than a month. Which is like, by the way, I know it might sound crazy, but I don't know if you all realize, like, that is the time when people some people start Christmas shopping. September. Nintendo has no games announced for September, and honestly, I think they're like panicking. I think they're like, shoot, Metroid is delayed. Kirby Air Riders is in shambles. I think they're panicking, dude. They're like, oh boy. If you want my money, I think there's a direct at the end of August. That's like, hey guys, actually Metroid's coming out in January. Kirby Air Riders late November. And enjoy Pokemon, because that's all you're getting this year. Now, I'm being kind of harsh. I'm masking my frustration behind me saying that they're panicking. I am pretty frustrated as a fan because it's like, where are all of the release dates for all these upcoming games? I'm just kidding. I think Kirby Air Riders will still come out this year. More so like, early November. I think Metroid Prime 4 finds a way to make it out this year. I'm just kidding. I think these games will still come out this year. But there's definitely like something going on. Like internally, there's something like, Nintendo knows they need to put out these release dates, but they can't currently promise you anything. There's been rumors out there, like credible rumors, that Metroid is like in like panic mode, like they haven't fully finished the game yet. I saw rumors about that. I would love to give credit to whoever made that, but I forgot. I'm so sorry. Kudos to you. I don't know what's going on, but we need a general direct by the end of the month. Because, like, dude, I mean, if you look at earlier this year, like, how long in advance did we know about Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition? At least 2 months, but I feel like it was like 3 or 4. Like, we used to know release dates of games months in advance. If they're releasing a game in September, we have what? Less than a month advance. Notice. That's kind of weird. Now, they can still do it. What Nintendo can do, September Nintendo Direct and Shadow Drop games like Metroid Prime 2 and 3. And, that's kind of the September thing. And then come with a heavy October or a heavy November. I don't know. They're being pretty weird, guys. But let's move on. I mean, they can always do, it sounds crazy, but like they could always do like Metroid in October. Well, I was going to say Metroid in October, but like not just because Pokemon is there. I think it's not crazy to say that Pokemon and Metroid can come out in the same month. What I was going to say is Pokemon is like right in the middle of October. It's like, when would you release Metroid? The week, like 2 weeks after? You're kind of nearing Halloween. 2 weeks before? That's just kind of weird. I feel like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, dude. That's for them to figure out, not me. Anyways, let's dive into our next topic. Nintendo has patented 2 weird Nintendo Switch 2 accessories. So when I say patented, a patent means Nintendo has, let's make this very simple, very, very, very simple for the kids out there. Nintendo has published documents of a design they may or may not make, like, an accessory. And basically it says no one else can steal this or else. So they've patented 2 accessories they may or may not make for the Nintendo Switch 2, but they wanted to reserve the idea of doing it. Number 1, there's an accessory here that they have had the idea of making. It may or may not happen, where you attach this thing to your left Joy-Con, it appears, and it's like a crank. It's a crank Nintendo Switch 2 accessory, where if you're holding your left Joy-Con and you put on this accessory, you can like spin this crank, and it's almost like your Switch 2 Joy-Con turns into a fishing rod, like the crank on a fishing rod. That's what this becomes. So that accessory would be great for any sort of fishing games, or like, could you imagine like Animal Crossing fishing? That'd be very cool. So that's what this accessory is for. It's on screen for our video listeners, audio listeners. You might have to do some, visual magic. Envision it in your head. A little skinny accessory clips onto your left Joy-Con and works as like a little crank, like a fishing rod crank. It's cool. The other accessory goes on your right Joy-Con, they've patented, and it's almost like a little scroll wheel. It's like a little wheel that you can spin. So you would have the right Joy-Con horizontally, and your right index finger would like kind of come up, and you can like spin this wheel, and it would be like right where the SL and SR buttons are. It'd be like right on top of the Joy-Con. You can spin a wheel. So pictures are on screen for our video listeners, audio listeners. I tried my visual magic, but essentially Nintendo has said, I'm just trying to make it simple for the kids out there. We want to make sure if we make this accessory that we own it, but we may or may not do it. So don't expect these accessories to come out and happen. But they have filed and said, hey, we may do it or we may not do it. We will see. So just wanted to put that out there. If those do happen, you heard it here first. If they don't happen, that's at the very least an interesting thing to look at. Final piece of news here before the main topic. Just a little reminder. It's nothing that we didn't know about already, but just a reminder for those maybe listening to this podcast this weekend. The Drag and Drive demo event is this weekend. So if you're bored this weekend, maybe it's raining where you are, weekend plans are shot. Mine aren't, but maybe yours are. You can hop online, download the Drag and Drive Global Jam software from the Nintendo eShop, and from Saturday, August 9th at 6 a.m. Eastern Time to 10 a.m. Eastern Time, you can play Drag X Drive and give it a little demo. Now, that's just one of the time slots. If you can't play then, you can also play Saturday, August 9th, same day, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And then if you also missed that, you can play Sunday, August 10th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Do the time zone conversions. I apologize. I can't do them all myself. But we are able to demo the wheelchair basketball game from Nintendo this weekend. And if you're asking me if I'm doing it, let's see. I could hop on tomorrow morning. Can't hop on Saturday night. I will be at an event. And I cannot hop. I could hop on Sunday. We'll see. Probably that Saturday morning slot, which is already over if you're listening to this podcast, unless you're a early access YouTube channel member. Link down below to become a channel member. You get access to this podcast early, so that's kudos to you for the low price of $4.99 per month. You get that and a ton of other perks along with that. So look into that, not to promo. But folks, let's freaking go. Let's get to our next segment here, which is going to be my top 5 Nintendo Switch 2 games. You know the Switch 2. You're maybe going to buy a Switch 2 soon. Let's talk about my top 5 favorite games for this console so far. Let's get into it now. So, my friends, the Switch 2 has only been out for a good 2 months, but hey, there's been a lot of good games that have come out. So today, I have gathered my top 5 list. And listen, I know it's pretty early to do one of these, but I will not be doing another one for a long time. I think it's just interesting to do this now because there's a lot of people who have... Is this actually, like, factually backed up? I feel like there's a lot of people who have birthdays, like, in Q4 of the year. Like, so that's, you know, September, October, November, December. Is that factual? I don't know. But that sounds about right to me. So I feel like there's people with birthdays, Christmas coming up. I don't know if you guys get Halloween gifts. Note, you're kind of spoiled if you're getting a Switch 2 for Halloween, because I don't know why you're getting that. Anyways, people are getting Switch 2s Q4 of this year. Maybe this list can help you figure out what games to buy. Bam! Yeah, all right, so let's do it. So I got my top 5 Switch 2 games in order. In order, might I say. In order from 5 to 1, 1 being the best one. Let's begin with number 5 on my Switch 2 top 5 list. And number 5, well, can I give an honorable mention first? This game is not on the Switch 2. Well, you can play it. You can play it on there, but it's made for Switch 1. It's called Misk: A Tiny Tale. I think I talked about it last episode. This game is so good. If you're a fan of Chibi Robo, you will love this game. So that's my quick honorable mention. My 5th top, what do you say? My fifth favorite, my 5th favorite Switch 2 game so far, I'm going to give to Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I believe it's 3 and 4. Yeah, 3 and 4. So this is obviously a remaster of Tony Hawk games from the past. Max, why is it your 5th favorite Switch 2 game? I don't know, but what I do know is this game is so much fun. Multiplayer. I played it with a buddy one night for like a couple hours. We were having so much fun. Listen, I didn't play the OG games, so excuse me for like talking about features as if they're new, but and maybe these were new, I don't know, but there's like a hide and seek mode that's cool. There's like competitions, you can free skate, there's like a story mode type of thing. If you're a fan of skateboarding games, or like honestly, even if you're not, I was not really a fan of skateboarding games too much. You know, I've played Skate 3 and that's a fun game, but like I was not this big skateboarding game guy, and I am ranking this top 5 on my Switch 2 games so far. I like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. And listen, that game's probably going to go on sale at some point, if not already. So if you want it, you can probably get it for a little bit less than they're actually charging for it. Now, I will say this as well. Day 1, when the game came out, the game was broken. Like, it was fully broken. It was so broken. I was playing it. I think even like day 2, it was broken. I was playing it, and I was trying to play with a friend, and we like opened up a friend's menu or something, and every time that you would open up this menu, game crashes. Like, it would say, the software closed because an error occurred, or, you know, whatever the basic Switch 2 error is. Like, it would crash every time. So it was broken. It's a little bit better now. You can buy Tony Hawk Pro Skater, not sponsored, obviously, as with any of these games, but that one's been a lot of fun and is, you know, Switch 2 optimized, and it runs pretty smooth. And I've had so much fun with it already. Even though it's not, you know, the most impressive game of all time, it's been a lot of fun to play. So if you're just looking for some sort of Switch 2 optimized game, this could be your answer. Also, one little side note, guys, that I didn't mention during the news topic, if you listened to that before coming here. I saw the reviews for Madden 26 on the Switch 2. How in the world is that game, like, struggling on Switch 2? Like, I thought Switch 2 was, like, supposed to get us out of games running at 30 FPS. Like, why does that game suck on Switch? I don't know. Anyways, that's very, very off topic. My next fourth favorite Switch 2 game. I don't know how to word these. My fourth favorite Switch 2 game so far is actually one that began on the Switch 1 that I think is definitely worth mentioning because of the new content added to it. And that is Super Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV. Listen, folks. I've played Jamboree back when it released in October of 2024. Let's see if my memory is sharp. October 17th of 2024. I played it back then. And I've played it now. So my first experience playing the Jamboree DLC was on a members-only live stream. See, guys, become a member. Link down below. It's great. Actually, don't. I'll explain why some other time. But sorry. Anyways, I played it on a members stream, and that was great. It was fun. I like all of the new content, but I played it also on C.com stream. You all might know C.com is a pretty often... I can't string a freaking sentence together. He's often on this show as a guest. I played it on his live stream, and that was where I got to use the camera feature, play all the new mini games, the mouse mini games. I mean, this was legit. The incorporation of the mouse into Mario Party Jamboree, I think, was brilliant and one of the best things that they could have done if they were going to ever make DLC at all, which they didn't, so that's great. I think that the mouse games really add a whole nother like layer. Like there's just like the way that it's used, man. Like I never thought that I'd have so much fun using a mouse on my thigh, because I have no surface on my couch, and like scooping up ice cream in Mario Party. It's great. And then not even just that, they've also added other modes. There's a lot in the $20 DLC for Mario Party Jamboree. And here's where I give Nintendo some credit. If you look at a game like Splatoon 3, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, all of the DLC, Animal Crossing New Horizon, all the DLCs are $25. This is only a $20 DLC. And I will tell you, it is worth every dollar. The last thing I am is a Nintendo shill, but I can tell you when things are great. The Jamboree DLC, if you haven't bought it, is worth, as long as you've got people to play it with. Solo, the experience becomes a little bit more mellow, but if you have friends online or in person, it's great fun. And also, using the camera in everything, like in like the standard modes, all that kind of stuff, very fun. All right. My third favorite Nintendo Switch 2 game is Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time. And I feel like there's been a lot of coverage on this game. I don't have to sell you too much on the game itself. The game itself, you are in the game, you create your own character. That is how games work. And I just gotta say, the story is phenomenal. The freedom that you get is phenomenal. I mean, if you take Animal Crossing, Zelda, and Minecraft, and like they all had a baby, it's Fantasy Life. This has been a game that I was actually so glad to see it get optimized for the Switch 2. I don't know where to start, guys. Can you look at the trailer footage on the video version of this podcast and like just see why I don't have to explain why this game is so great? I mean, you can just roam, kill, hang out, talk, build. It's like, I guess it just gives me like Animal Crossing vibes. It gives me Animal Crossing vibes. We can like decorate and stuff and change up the whole island. It's good. But yeah, I would say like the things that we can see that are similar to Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is my favorite Switch 1 game. I think that's what's got me sold on Fantasy Life. I'm going to Fantasy Life as number 3. I've sunk a good time into it, and I just couldn't recommend it more. Now, the price does escape me. I believe it's $60 and $65 if you're buying it on Switch 2, or like $62. I think that the Switch 2 upgrade was like a weird price. It was like $3 or $4 or $2.50. I forget, but it was cheap. It was not like, it wasn't $10 or anything. So good Switch 2 game. But after that, we dive into my second favorite Switch 2 game so far. And I think a lot of people might figure out what my top 2 Switch games are. And I feel like most people who have a Switch 2 right now, these are your top 2 games. And my second favorite Switch 2 game so far, and this list can always change, is Mario Kart World. Wow. You probably thought I had that for number 1, didn't you? No. So, here's the thing. Mario Kart World is by far the best Mario Kart game ever made. And I don't really think that... I don't think that there's any, validity to any sort of argument there apart from nostalgia. If you're nostalgic for Mario Kart Wii, which, listen, I am too. Great. You can argue that it's better. But, you take Mario Kart Wii and stack it up to Mario Kart World. There's nothing actually better about Mario Kart Wii. Is that a hot take? Listen, I'm nostalgic too. I play CTGP as well on the Wii, right? I'm nostalgic, but Mario Kart World, best soundtrack, best character selection, best, they added Knockout Tour, more modes, best, game with different modes and options. Did I say soundtrack? You got free roam, you got all the free roam missions, the P switches are amazing, the question block panels, the Peach medallions. There's so much to do, is my point with that little tangent there. There's a lot to do. It's the best Mario Kart. It's 24 players. It just doesn't get any better. Now here's my second camera just died. So you know what? We are rolling with the main camera for the rest of this podcast. How exciting is that? My heart drop always sinks, or my heart always drops when the camera dies. It's weird. Anyways, Mario Kart World. Back to what I was saying, folks. The reason it is number 2 is simply because I do not believe at this point in time, and I think this will change later. I seriously think this will change later. Mario Kart World is not worth $80 by any stretch, by any means, as of August 8th and 9th, and probably 10th of 2025. The game is not worth $80 in any circumstance. You have Grand Prix, Knockout Tour, Online Play, all the great modes, and those are all fantastic. But you have to put in perspective, a ton of games have a ton of modes. A ton of games have, content-heavy modes where you can sink thousands of hours into, right? None of these games are $80. When you put in perspective, $80. That's, oh my gosh, I can fill up my gas 3 times for $80. I mean, no game is worth $80, which is why they're all priced at $60 or $40, occasionally $70. What about this game makes it worth $80 apart from the fact that you can get the $80 because you know that everyone who buys a Switch 2 wants to play Mario Kart. So you can usually squeeze that $10 out of them, right? Now, here's my thing. Before Mario Kart World came out, that Nintendo spokesperson dude, Bill Trinan, whatever, he did a IGN interview as kind of like a damage control tour where Nintendo was getting all the backlash for overpricing the Switch 2 and Mario Kart. He came out and said this: "We price every game based on the content that is in the game." Bill Trinan, please comment down below, like and subscribe, hit the freaking notification bell, and comment your favorite color. Bill Trinan, please comment down below. What about Mario Kart World is $80? What about it? There's been no content updates since launch, so as I'm sitting here today, can't say that it's worth that price. Maybe what they have planned, maybe they have some free updates planned for, October of this year and mid next year. Maybe. As I sit here August 8th, 2 months removed, Nothing about Mario Kart World is worth $80. If you add more characters, if you add more tracks, if you add things for free, which they probably won't do, because why would you? You can charge for that. Nothing about the game is $80, but if they did add those things that I just mentioned, okay, we can argue about it. But right now, there's no argument. It's not worth $80. So that's my biggest thing. That is my biggest thing why it's number 2 and not number 1. Overpriced and extremely overpriced. Nothing in there is worth. I've not played Mario Kart World for non-video purposes, non-like recording footage purposes, 3 weeks. Like, there's nothing keeping me going back. There's like, I don't know. It's not worth it. It's not worth $80. Should you buy it? Yeah. I'm just saying it's overpriced. That's all I'm saying. Next, though, guys, number 1, my favorite Switch 2 game as of August 8th, 2025, and I can guarantee you when the Switch 2 life is done and, you know, the year is 2032, this will not be my favorite Switch 2 game. I can guarantee you that. But as of right now, 2 months removed, it's Donkey Kong Bonanza. I mean, like, what else can you actually say for your favorite Switch 2 game if it's not Bonanza or Mario Kart World? And I chose Bonanza. Now, I will not dive into spoilers, so you are all good here. But I have beat the game, obviously, and I have played through the full game. And Donkey Kong Bonanza is quite simply a masterpiece. There's no other way to put it. If you are a fan of Mario Odyssey, if you're a fan of what's some other, Nintendo 3D platformers, there's not a whole lot. I mean, there's a lot. There are a good amount, Kirby and all that, but there's not a whole lot to compare Donkey Kong Bonanza to. It's truly a one-of-a-kind game. And I don't want to give spoilers, but I will touch on the story a little bit. Story's great. Twists and turns in the story. I'll leave that for you to discover. And also, something that I kind of worry about is like when I buy a game, $70, big old 3D platformer, sometimes it's over in like 7 to 8 hours. No, I mean, Bonanza went on for a pretty long time, especially if you take your time and don't, rush through it, which is fine if that's how you play games. But like, if you take your time, Bonanza, there's a lot of content there. So you're kind of getting what you're paying for with that $70 price tag. It's not like a little, you pay $70, 6 hours of gameplay. All right, you're finished. No, there's a good amount of stuff there, so I credit Nintendo for that. I credit your boy Bill Trinan for actually evaluating the price on that game and, putting it fairly. And I just think it is the ultimate Nintendo Switch 2 game right now. It performs, if you're not in a boss battle, it performs pretty well. Now looking back to that, do you guys remember when I got invited to New York to play Donkey Kong Bonanza early? True fans will know that. I can now see why they didn't put me in like any other boss fights apart from like the one that runs fine, because like every other boss fight ran terribly. So that's just something that I kind of noted there. A little weird how they only showed me the good parts. Not to call them out, but I am as honest as it gets when it comes to Nintendo. They can invite me to events, and I can crap on them. I am no shill by any means, and if they think that's what they're getting, they're wrong, because you don't want that, and I don't want that. I don't want people who just lie about, this is so great. But I'm telling you from the heart, Bonanza is a great game, and I think if you own a Switch 2, or you're trying to own one this holiday season, or your birthday, or whatever's coming up, I think if you get a Switch 2, I think Bonanza is more worth it than Mario Kart World, but if you buy a Switch 2, maybe the first game that you buy is Mario Kart World. So buy Mario Kart, but then next, buy Donkey Kong Bonanza. Because you need it. And it's very, very good. So look into that for me. But Bonanza is a masterpiece. I don't think there's much that I would have changed about the game. I've given my extended thoughts on it on this podcast. So if you want to hear my full thoughts and first impressions, you can go back to that episode. I won't rehash the whole thing. But very, very good game, which is a very surface level commentary for how good of a game it is. But I can't recommend it more. That is my top 5 list of Switch 2 games. But now, folks, it is time to get to your favorite segment of the week, the question block segment where I answer your questions you have asked me. Let's go ahead and let's get freaking to it. Now, folks, it is your favorite segment. It is the question block segment, and I'm so glad that you could join us for this segment because, honestly, it might be my favorite to do. And I'll get to why that is in just a moment because we have a funny, I don't know if funny is the answer. I mean, it's funny for sure, but like, I give you guys input on your personal dilemmas, and I'll dive into that. But first things first, if you want to ask a question to be possibly featured on the podcast, we get a lot of questions, so I apologize if you've been trying, and you haven't made it on. I apologize. We get a lot of questions, so if you want to try, number one, I post on my YouTube community tab. If you're following my main channel every week, you can go check out that post. It usually has like a scary Nintendo character on it or like a cursed image, so check it out there. If you don't want to do all that because it sounds kind of complicated, second, you can join my Discord server linked down below. There's a channel in there called Podcast Questions. If you're more of a Discord kind of guy or gal, you can go that route, or you can email mariomatterquestions@gmail.com if you want to take the email route. Once again, that is mariomatterquestions@gmail.com. With that said, Claire shot an email to mariomatterquestions@gmail.com, and Claire has a bit of a dilemma that she needs me to figure out for her, okay? So, hello, Max. If I'm lucky and you are answering my question, thank you so much for taking your time to answer my questions. First, I would like your opinion on something. My brother wants to get the new Madden game and use it on my Switch 2, which I bought with my own cash. What do you think I should do about this? Should I just let him use my Switch 2? All right, so Claire asked a couple questions. Let's answer that one first. Claire, here we go. We're going to solve this problem. If you're listening right now, no stress. Go ahead and just take a sigh of relief. I got this all figured out for you, okay? So I would say if your brother wants to get Madden 26 on the Switch 2, first of all, have him reconsider, please, because Madden does not run well on the Switch 2. If he has a PlayStation, urge him to get it there. But if the Switch 2 is all you have and all he has, here's what you do. You let him buy Madden. You don't buy it. Don't buy it for him unless you're playing it, Claire. Keep that cash. Buy some EmSwizzle merch with it. EmSwizzle.shop, link down below. We're dropping some new merch in September, so save your cash, Claire. But let him buy it. Okay, let him buy Madden. And then here's what you do, Claire. If your brother is the type, he's the type, the Cheeto fingers and salsa hands, and he's going to get your Switch 2 dirty, let him use it whenever you're not using it. And here's what you do. You buy him, or he buys, whatever, a cheap controller from Amazon.com, and you let him use that controller. Like, give him his own controller. It can be cheap. They make them for like $25. Give him his own controller and give him your Switch. Maybe put it in a dock, put it on the family TV, or if it's in your room, let him in your room if that's okay with you. Give him his own way to play, give him his own controller, so then your Switch 2 will stay nice and pristine if you give him the Cheeto finger controller, okay? So you do that and only let him use it when you're not playing it. Because, listen, Claire, girl, if you want to play a Donkey Kong or Mario Kart or Go-Go Town or whatever, you deserve to. Because $450 ain't cheap, dude. $450 for a Switch 2? Listen, Claire, if you want it, you play it. But if you're not using it, and he buys himself Madden and a controller, and your dock is somewhere in the family room and not in your own bedroom, these are a lot of conditions. I would let him use it. Simple as that. I hope that helps, Claire. Please reply to your email and tell me if you're if you're hearing all this, and let me know if it helped you. Okay. Secondly, is there any content you would like to make that's not Nintendo or skits? If so, would you make a different channel for it or just post it on your EmSwizzle channel? So I have a second channel, and I used to post a lot more. However, it was all Nintendo stuff. It was all, my Amiibo collection, or we would open up games on launch day and like just kind of get excited about it. That channel is kind of dead. If you are wondering why that channel is dead, a simple answer, I just took my time that I was putting into that channel and put it into my main channel, which is why you're now getting more long form videos from me on the main channel. That's the sole reason why. I don't have a big desire to bring back that second channel, and I don't know what content I would make if it wasn't Nintendo, to be honest. That's kind of my bread and butter and what I would say, knowledgeable about. So it's tough. I don't really have any other big passions apart from making content. Making Nintendo content, I should say. If I was a big, if I was a big kickboxing enthusiast, maybe I'd make some kickboxing videos. But one, I'm not in any position to teach someone how to kickbox if I've not been in a fight before. I'm just not qualified to make other stuff. I can make food reviews. Oh, let's try Haribo Coca-Cola gummies, right? I think I'll stick to the Nintendo thing, but I appreciate the desire to see me doing more stuff. I appreciate that and the interest in it. Third, from Claire, would you recommend getting Donkey Kong Bonanza? I'm thinking about getting it, but I'm still unsure. Claire, I would say 100%. If you're in, Claire, if you've played the Switch 1 and you liked Mario Odyssey, if you've played that, I don't know. If you didn't play that, I'd get that first. If you've played Mario Odyssey, you like adventure games, 3D platforming games, I think anybody who likes just those few things alone will love Bonanza. So I would say definitely pick up Bonanza. Maybe watch some more, reviews if you'd like to. Some non-spoiler reviews. And then maybe you can decide, but it runs great for the most part, and the story is great. I would recommend. So thank you, Claire, for the questions. Hopefully you get the Madden situation, squared away. Please reply to your email and let me know how that went. I would love to hear back. All right. Layla asks, how did you first get into Nintendo and what's your favorite game ever? I like it. Okay, yeah. My bad. Sorry. I thought it said something different. Okay. I first got into Nintendo. My siblings, I guess, let's actually back up a little bit. I first got into Nintendo before I was born, actually. My dad, I have two older siblings, and I guess he bought them a GameCube. Don't know where from, nothing about it. I don't know what year. It must have been 2004, 5, somewhere in that range, right? Maybe even 3, I don't know. He buys a GameCube for the family. I pop out in 2006. I'm 0 years old. And I grow up a little bit. Fast forward to 2009. I'm 3 years old. I am playing Shrek 2 on the GameCube as Gingy, not knowing what the heck I'm doing because I'm 3 years old. But my first introduction was via a GameCube system. And that was in 2009. And I only knew how to play Shrek 2. Well, I shouldn't say how to play Shrek 2. I knew how to hold the controller and spam buttons. I wasn't good. I knew how to watch my babysitter play Luigi's Mansion. It wasn't me actually playing it. And that was about it. So that was my first introduction. My first, I can comprehend what I'm doing was 4 or 5 years old playing Nintendo Wii back in 2010. I had a couple games. I knew how to play Wii Fit. I knew how to play Smurfs Dance Party. I knew how to play Just Dance. I knew how to play Mario Bros. Wii. I wasn't good at it, but I knew how to play. And I believe I even dabbled in some Donkey Kong Country Returns. So I had a couple Wii games there. That's kind of how I got introduced, but Layla is also asking, what is my favorite game ever? Come on, Layla. I feel like I recognize your name. You should know. Layla, you should know. Come on, Layla. Come on. Layla, you should know. It's Animal Crossing New Leaf. Come on, Layla. I feel like I recognize your name. You should know. I'm just kidding. It's fine. I don't mind. It's fine. Not everyone knows, but now you know. The Luigi Matter, funny name to use on YouTube, I see the pun, asks, who is the guy that says, welcome to the Mario Matter, the #1 Nintendo podcast? That is none other than the voice of the UFC, which is a fighting league, is the easiest way I'll put it. MMA, if you're familiar with the term. Bruce Buffer is the announcer. Like, have you all ever watched boxing? And the guy's like, standing 4 foot tall and weighs 110 pounds. It is EmSwizzle, like the announcer. His name is Bruce Buffer. And some people ask me, like, what are the things behind me if you're watching the video version? This right here is a plush Bruce Buffer. That's him as like a stuffed animal or a stuffed human, actually. That's him. There are Easter eggs on this set. That's him right there. And I would grab him, but like he's like taped to the wall. Like it's kind of weird. So he's up there and he's the one who did my intro. I paid him to do it. I mean, it wasn't like some down low business. He has a business where you can like pay to have him do your wedding, your special announcement, your birthday. You can like pay him and then he'll say something for you. Kind of like Cameo, but not Cameo. So I said, hey, can you do my podcast intro? And his assistant's like, sure, he can do it. So we did it, and that's that. Now I use it. Now, if you're wondering why he says the #1 Nintendo, obviously there are podcasts out there that are more listened to than this podcast. But when we say #1 podcast, the one that is always on time, the one that is in your feed every Saturday at 10 a.m. sharp, the one that hasn't missed an episode, except for last March when I was sick. Hasn't missed an episode in over 2 years. Every single Saturday, we're in your podcast box, and tries their hardest. So that's where #1 comes from. Apart from that, let's move on. The Pizza Penguin asks, Max, have you ever played Fortnite? And if so, do you like the game? I have played Fortnite. Dude, a lot of you don't know about my Fortnite days. Back in 2017, I was introduced to Fortnite, like OG time. Like OG Fortnite. And I got really addicted in 2018, summer. I think a lot of people were. I was one of them. I was in 5th grade going into 6th grade. So 2018 summer was pretty prime for that. And I was just addicted. I had this group of friends, like 6, 7, 8 buddies, and we'd all just, back then, you could only play Fortnite with 4 people. So whoever was online, we would just run duos or squads, and like the item shop was actually good back then. And like, it was just so much fun. And, playground mode came out. Who remembers playground mode, dude? Like, what do y'all know about that OG Fortnite? Oh, OG era, not like OG as in 2017. That OG era. But come like late 2019, like I just kind of stopped playing Fortnite because you get introduced late 2017, late 2019. You just you played it for 2 years. You spent enough money on skins and you're just done. So I dropped it then, picked it up again like mid 2020, played with some friends back then, and then fully dropped it off like late 2020. Haven't played since. Yeah, I have not played since late 2020. So like 5 years or so, pretty much, have not played Fortnite. Not because I like, guys, I'm quitting Fortnite forever. I'm quitting forever. I will never ever go back to it again. I just, no interest really. I did it for 2 years. More than that, actually. So I'm just done with the whole Fortnite thing. But Fortnite is very fun. I just like can't play it again. I just have no interest in it. It's also like complicated now. Oh, you know what? Let me share this. I actually did pick up Fortnite late last year. Like, I want to say like the day or like a few days before Christmas Eve. I played, guys, can I tell you? Oh my God. I picked up Fortnite on my Xbox. I played one game and I won. Can I tell you the story? So, I just camped the whole game. You know, I'm rusty, haven't played Fortnite in 5 years. I camped the whole game. I get down to the top 3. These guys are in a build battle. I just go break it all down. They fall to the ground. I win. I promise you that is the truth. I have a screen. I have a picture. I have a picture of this happening. I have a picture of my victory royale or whatever they call it nowadays. I have a literal picture I will not put on screen, but I'll show it to our video listeners. I got it. You're gonna have to do your own Zoom work, but that is you can see me with like a Christmas sweater on. That is my victory royale. When was this? This was December 20th at 8:59 p.m. I just knocked people down in a build battle. Yeah, pretty legit. All right. Final question comes from DJ Games, and they ask, Max, if Animal Crossing never existed, what would you have played on your channel instead? By the way, first time asking a question, but long time Mario Matter listener. Yeah, so what DJ is referring to is I began my EmSwizzle channel making Animal Crossing content. And you know, DJ, I think it's a pretty scary thought. Because I think if there was no Animal Crossing, I wouldn't have made videos. Like, I would not be sitting in this chair. What would I be doing? I would probably be like out with some friends right now, like getting some ice cream. I would not be in this chair. Yeah, I mean, the reason I began YouTube is just because I wanted to make fish and bug Animal Crossing tutorials because they were not hard to make, and they were doing well on YouTube at that time, so I made my own, and Animal Crossing got me into it. So if there was no Animal Crossing, I probably would not be a YouTuber, and that's a scary thought, but also a thought that I'm grateful for. So, yeah, I mean, you ask what would I have played on the channel? Probably nothing, because honestly, you know, I had a few YouTube spurts and attempts before I was really into Animal Crossing, but I don't know if any other game I would have picked up, like, and made videos on it. So, yeah, I wouldn't have a channel, I'd say. That's probably what would have happened. But, folks, thank you all so much for listening to this podcast. If you did enjoy, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're on audio platforms, give us 5 stars. I would really, really appreciate that. If you did make it to the end, comment down below the word... Comment strawberry. Yeah, there you go. And I you know what? If you didn't comment that yet, comment down below the word party as well. Comment strawberry party. I don't know what that means, but comment it. Folks, I will see you all next Saturday. We should have a guest, but I will have to confirm that for sure. With that said, I will see you all then. Adios!